thought we'd do a little bit of quick park botany today because there was some nice vegetation in just this little spot up here. But what we're working with right here, this is Circus canadensis, the eastern redbud. Flowers aren't quite open yet. They're almost there. These are edible, the flower buds, I believe, is what I've heard. I'll do some research on that and write it up in the sidebar. But Circus canadensis, I'll flash up a picture of it in full anthesis. This is a great tree to put in your yard. It doesn't get very large, and it's a massive, massive food source for like your early spring pollinators. So all your bees and like your first butterflies, like your morning cloaks and your commas and stuff that are waking up, they're gonna be looking for food, and this eastern redbud, Circus canadensis, is a great way to provide some of that food to them. Yeah, so put that in your yard, plant native, of course. Leaves on this tree are cordate. They're very heart-shaped. It's very cute. It's a cute tree. Doesn't get too big, very manageable. Yeah, love it. Love the eastern redbud. In the Fabaceae, which you could probably tell from the pictures of the flowers. However, it doesn't have the compound leaves that you typically get in the Fabaceae, which I just realized, and it's an interesting note. It's also a flower buds come like directly out of the stem on this one, which is something I'm pretty sure cacao does the same thing. I'm not sure what the botany term for that is. It's not coalescent, but there's a really good illustration of it right there, just on the top of this branch here. Couple developing inflorescences. Take a quick gander over here because there was some interesting stuff in this like railroad embankment, it looks like, as you can see right here. The famed poison ivy, Toxicodendron radicans. Not sure if this is Radicans rydbergii or just radicans. Rydbergii, I believe, is less of a climber. You know, it is a pretty plant though. You got to give it to it. It kind of glistens. You know, it glistens with urushiol, or we know that, but you know, it can't help it. That urushiol is an important compound for it. It wouldn't have persisted throughout the Anacardiaceae, as it, I think like a third of the members is the figure that I've heard of the members of the Anacardiaceae have urushiol in some capacity. So it's clearly a very important thing for these things to have, otherwise they wouldn't retain it. So if you get a rash, wash it with soap. You know, it's not that hard. Oh, here's some berries. That's cool to see. Little poison ivy berries. That's pretty nice. We've also got a lot of in this railroad embankment. There's Galium aparini, which is non-native. There's a lot of box elder maple, Acer negundo, which is a great tree. This looks like Ailanthus altissima. There's probably a lot of that in this railroad embankment as well. But box elder maples are great trees. They get a lot of hate for being weedy, insect-prone seed machines. But honestly, I think the box elders are you know, they're a maple, and everyone loves a maple. Here we go. Here's something nice. This is native, probably. This is a vitus of some species. Not sure which at the current juncture in time. Definitely a vitus, though. The Vitaceae is pretty great. Surprised I don't see Parthenocissus kinkifolia anywhere in here. But these are the leaves of the box elder maple. So it's a little bit tricky, you know. Some of these leaflets kind of look like poison ivy, but you can always distinguish box elder maples from poison ivy, because of course box elder maples are opposite leaved and poison ivy is alternate leaved. So you can always use that if you're feeling a little bit tripped up and a little bit scared. Also, poison ivy doesn't grow into a massive tree. You know, box elders, they can get kind of big. Like that one up there is probably like 25 feet tall. You know, it's nice. Let's see, there was some other stuff I wanted to show off in this park. Let's cut this and we'll spotlight this one, of course. I'm not surprised to run into this. I see this a lot in people's like side yards up in Rogers Park where I live. This is Alliaria petiolata, the infamous garlic mustard. As you can see, it's doing what garlic mustard does best, and it's just completely colonized this railroad embankment. I think I saw, yeah, this looks like Allium canadense, which is a native onion. But you can see what the garlic mustard does to the habitat. It just completely carpets it. It's also in a allelopath, so nothing can actually grow in the vicinity besides more garlic mustard, which is why it forms these monocultures. And there's one getting ready to flower up there. Figured I'd just pop up here to see if there's any neat native shit, but I don't really see much. Those are Agaritina altissima though, that's a great late season wildflower. Hang on, I might see a Claytonia. Not a Claytonia. I got tripped up by those cotyledons. Damn. Well, I don't think there's shit up here, so I'm gonna go back down. There's another box elder though. And then up here we've got something that's not an invasive weed at all. It's just a beautiful flower. This is Amelanchiae, probably Arborea, I'm guessing. I'm completely guessing. There's a variety, not a variety. There's more Amelanchiaes than I can keep straight in my head, suffice it to say that much. But they're beautiful. Another great early season tree like your beloved Circus canadensis. Put this in your goddamn yard instead of a fucking pear tree. Please, for the love of God. Anyway, that's all I got. Have a good one. So this is I'm at a different spot. I'm not at that park anymore. So this is another pretty bad invasive that I've been seeing a lot of. I didn't see it so much in Indiana. I do see a lot more of it up here in Chicago. This is Ficaria verna. It's in the buttercup family. They're Ranunculaceae, which you could guess by these flowers here. All those, just a mess of anthers, and then the carpelate flowers at the center. And if you turn it over, you know, you got your numerous, you got your sepals in the back there. Interesting for a Ranunculaceae to have three sepals and not to have petaloid sepals, but that's beside the point. What I really wanted to, so Ficaria verna is bad, get rid of it if you got it. It's really hard because it's such a mat former. But what I really wanted to stop in here to show off is this, which is just a fantastic goddamn plant. There's a couple babies coming up, probably off a root of this larger mother plant here. But this is Silphium perfoliatum, and if you've been around for a bit, you know how much of a huge fan of the Silphiums I am. We get like 4 in the Chicago region, if I'm not mistaken. You got Integrifolium, put up a picture of it, Laciniatum, perfoliatum, Terebinthinaceum. And Integrifolium's kind of a weird one because you got I think there's 3 varieties or subspecies of Integrifolium. I'll write up all that information and flash up all the Silphiums because they're just a fantastic lineage of the Asteraceae. They put out these absolutely, the iconic bloom of the prairie, in my personal opinion, is Silphium laciniatum. That's your black soil indicator species. That's with those, oh God, I'll just show you a bunch of pictures of it. It's such a cool goddamn plant. But I was so stoked when I saw this because I was like, hey, it's a Silphium. And it's cup plant, you know, so the birds can drink water out of the perfoliate leaves of this species, which is just fantastic. So just a lovely, if you can overlook the Ficaria is not competing with this Silphium. This Silphium's way deeper down than the Ficaria. The Ficaria is just, I'm a purist, so it's an eyesore a little bit, but maybe some natives can eat it. I don't think so though. But anyway, Silphium perfoliatum, great plant. Put that in your yard.